Good morning, students. Today we are going to deal with the topic the Consumer Protection Act 1986. As you know that this act has much importance given in the nowadays Indian context because this act is relating to the protection of the rights of a consumer. ग्राहकांचं हित संरक्षण करणं हा या कायद्याचा एक मुख्य हेतू आहे आणि किंबहुना मराठीत असं आपण म्हणू शकतो की ग्राहक संरक्षण कायदा 1986. या ग्राहक संरक्षण कायद्याच्या शब्दामध्येच कन्झ्युमर प्रोटेक्शन हा हे दोन शब्द आलेले आहेत. कन्झ्युमर म्हणजे ग्राहक आणि प्रोटेक्शन म्हणजे त्यांचं संरक्षण. आता त्यांचं संरक्षण कुणापासून केलं पाहिजे आणि त्यांचं संरक्षण कशा प्रकारे केलं पाहिजे याचा अभ्यास आणि संरक्षण करण्यासाठी काय काय यंत्रणा गव्हर्नमेंटनं राबवलेल्या आहेत, निर्माण केलेल्या आहेत, याचा अभ्यास या कायद्याखाली केला जातो. तर आपण पाहूया द कन्झ्युमर प्रोटेक्शन ॲक्ट, द मेन प्रोव्हिजन्स अँड द इसेन्शियल प्रोव्हिजन्स ऑफ द ॲक्ट hereinafter. As far as the historic perspectives of this act is concerned, then we can go back to the Indian Contract Act 1872. So these are the some acts we can say that because of these acts, because of these laws, there felt a need to enact a new law regarding the protection of the consumers. So Indian Contract Act, Sale of Goods Act 1930, Standards of Weights and Measures Act 1976, Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act, Food Adulteration Acts. So these, because of these acts, the need was failed to curb the practice of corruption and misconception amongst the consumers and to curb the malpractices against the consumers which are being played by the traders or the business class. So that is why these this act was needed to pass, to be enacted in the Parliament of India. What are the main objectives of this act? So objectives of the act, if we have to draw out from these acts, then we can say that to promote and protect the rights of the consumers is one of the most important facet or a right of the consumers, and we can say that this is the main goal, this is the main objectives of the passing of or of behind passing of this act. Second is to be established consumer protection councils. So for the purpose of protection of the rights of the consumers, there needs to be established consumer protection councils. This is the mechanism, and through that mechanism it will be possible to protect the rights of the consumers if any grievance is made against them by any traders community or by any uh, seller or any trader or any business activity or any business person. Third is to provide a speedy and a simple redressal system to consumer disputes by establishing consumer courts or consumer forums. This act, that is why, has been passed, we can show. So this act is called the Consumer Protection Act 1986. It extends to the whole of the India, including now that time the Jammu and Kashmir was excluded, but right now it was again accessed, and this act is applied to the state of Jammu and Kashmir also. Thereafter, let us see what are the, before going to some definitions, or first of all, let us see some definitions. Uh, who is the complainant? Complainants, takrardar. So under this act, some definitions have been given. Let us first of all discuss these definitions one by one. Who is the complainant? So complainant means a consumer. कंप्लेनंट तक्रारदार हा कायदेशीर भाषेमध्ये, ग्राहक हा सर्वसामान्य बोलीभाषेमध्ये आपण ग्राहक म्हणतो. ग्राहक म्हणजे जो ग्रहण करणार आहे, पैसे देऊन काहीतरी विकत घेणार आहे तो ग्राहक. मग त्या ग्राहकाला कायदेशीर भाषेमध्ये मात्र आपण ज्यावेळी तक्रार दाखल केली जाईल ग्राहकाकडून, त्यावेळी त्याला ग्राहक म्हणणार नाही तर तक्रारदार म्हणणार आपण. तर तक्रारदार हा कोण आहे, तर कंझ्युमर असू शकतो, अ व्हॉलंटरी कंझ्युमर असोसिएशन असू शकते, which may have been registered under the Companies Act or under any other law, act or law for the time being in force. The central government or any state government can be a complainant. One or more consumers, where there are numerous consumers having the same interest, and in case of a death of a consumer, his legal heir or a legal representative who or which makes a complaint can be called the complainant. So complainant is the word, is the term which consists of the consumer itself, the state government, central government itself, thereafter the heir or the representative of the consumer if he is dead, and one or more consumers, consumer organizations. So these are called complainants. No other kind of a person, type of a person, category of the persons mentioned earlier in the definition of the complainant cannot be called a complainant. Keep in mind. And what is meant by complaint? So complaint means any allegations made in the writing by a complainant that an unfair practice, trade practice, or a restrictive trade practice has been played or adopted by any business person, by any business company, trader, or a service provider. The goods bought by him, the consumer, or agreed to be bought by him suffer from one or more defects or losses. The services hired or availed of or agreed to be hired or availed of by the consumer suffer from deficiencies in any kind of respect or in any respect. So in this case, complaint means any allegation, arop, made in the form of writing by a complainant regarding the employment or imposement of the unfair trade practice or a restrictive trade practice upon him by any seller or any trader or business person, or the goods bought by that complainant or the consumer is of defective nature, or the services provided to him or availed by him is of a defective nature, or a trader or any service provider, as the case may be, has charged for the goods or for the services mentioned in the complaint a price in excess of the price fixed or displayed in the consumer's catalog. So suppose एखाद्या प्राइस फिक्स प्राइसपेक्षा जास्त प्राइस आकारली जाणं, हा सुद्धा अन्याय आहे, हा सुद्धा डिफेक्ट आहे. मग अशा वेळी कंझ्युमर कोर्टात जाऊ शकतो आणि कंप्लेंट दाखल करू शकतो. मग कंप्लेंट म्हणजे काय, तर एनी ॲलिगेशन्स, आणि कंप्लेंट दाखल करणारा कोण, कंप्लेनंट. इथं कंझ्युमर म्हणजे कंप्लेनंट, आणि जो काय रिटर्न फॉर्मॅटमध्ये तक्रार दाखल करतो तिला आपण कंप्लेंट असं म्हणू शकतो. सो दीज आर very simple definitions. I won't discuss it in elaborative manner. Let us discuss one more definition here. Consumer means any person who buys any goods for a consideration which has been paid or promised, or partly paid or partly promised, or under any system of deferred payment system, and includes any user of such goods other than the person who buys such goods for consideration, paid or promised, or partly paid or partly promised, or under any system of deferred payment when such use is made with the approval of such person, but doesn't include a person who obtains such goods for resale or for any other commercial purposes. So this is the definition of the consumer. Now let us see what are the rights of the consumer. At the outset, we would like to discuss the rights of the consumers. Actually, it is the last point, but I would like to discuss it first at the outset, because as you got the meaning of the consumer, you got the meaning of the complaint and the complainant. Now it is feasible to know the rights of the consumer. So what are the rights available to the consumer? You are all many of the times you become a consumer, you buy something from the seller, you buy online from Amazon, from Flipkart. So you go everywhere, you buy fertilizers, papers, milk, breads, and foods, vegetables. You go to the restaurant. So every time you become a consumer. Now, what are the rights available to you? That is most important, and you must get it. You must understand it. So first right is the right to be protected against marketing of the goods which are hazardous to life and property. Suppose a seller comes to your door and says that this is a chemical which is very useful and for your farming, for your any object of you, whatever it may be, by killing pesticides or for killing germs, etc. But if it is hazardous to the human being, if it is consumed, or any children, if it is consumed, there can be death. So, under this, the marketing of such goods which are dangerous, which are hazardous to the life and property of the human being cannot be sold out in the general or overt market. So this is the right of a consumer. If you go to a seller and if he says this is a good for, okay, no problem. You have to see contents, you have to see the labels, you have to see the description written on the labels of the bottle or that jar, whatever it may be, or that packet. So there is no marketing, and so against the marketing of this hazardous type production, consumer has a right. He can make a complaint if there are any drawbacks come out after using of this product which is hazardous to the nature, to the human being. Second right is to be informed about the quality, quantity, potency, purity, standard and price of the goods to protect the consumer against unfair trade practices. So it is very important, right, that the consumer must be made known the actual price, the actual standard of that product, the actual purity of that product, the actual price of the goods must be made known to the consumer. If suppose the actual price is different and if the seller conveys you the other, say, a different price, then again you have right to be informed. You can use it against that consumer. For example, if you go to the seller of a jewelry, gold shop or gold jewelry, and then he says actually the price is fixed, but he fixes the price, he increases the price and tells that price to you, what will happen? So actual price, it means that he has hidden that price from you. He didn't tell you that price, and that is why he had made a breach. That is why he's breaking the laws, and then you can file a complaint against that seller. So that is why the first right, that a right of a protection from the hazardous goods, marketing of the hazardous goods. Second is the right to be informed about the quality, potency, standard and the prices of the goods, etc. Third is the right to be assured wherever possible access to an authority of the goods at a competitive prices. So competitive prices, you have right to get the list of the competitive prices. You have right to be assured that the you making a sorting out of the goods, you are, it is up to you. So if you go to a clothes shop, then it is your right to look, to see, to sort out the each and every product, and after sorting out, if you have again right to sort out other shoppers, other owners, other sellers products also, and comparatively if it is good fit and reduction in the price or the less price, if those goods are off, then you can buy, you have that right. But actually it doesn't happen. If you go to a seller, then seller makes you obligation to buy that. Sometimes it happens, and for you dignity, for the status of your social status, the fixed price which is much more than the actual price, you are compelled to buy that product by that seller because of your dignity, and you also buy that. But you don't go for sorting it out, you don't go to the other seller, and if you see, you don't see what the products are same but the prices are different, etc. So this is the right available to you. So right to protection, right to informed, right to be assured, the right to be heard, and the complaint should be taken, right to be heard by the courts, right to be heard by the seller also. So if any defect in the product, if it is found, then you have a right that these facts must let it known to the seller, must let it known to the courts also, consumer courts. the right to seek redressal against unfair trade practices or unscrupulous ex- exploitation of consumers. The right to consumer education is the most sixth important right. So these are the sixth right. I will briefly put it before you. First is the right to be protected. Second is the right to be informed. Third one is the right to be assured. Fourth one, the right to be heard. Fifth one, the right to seek redressal against unfair trade practices or unscrupulous exploitations by the seller. And sixth right is the right to consumer education. So these are the rights. We have seen the definitions. So today I think we have got the concept of the consumer protection. Who is consumer, who is complainant, what is the complaint, what is the protection, what are the rights of the consumers. Six important rights. There may be a question in the examination will be asked that what are the six rights of the consumers. You have to mention that, you have to make an introduction, thereafter you have to write two three definitions: consumer, complaint and complainant, and thereafter you have to mention the rights, elaborate the answer, and this is your answer if it is asked in paragraphs. But if it is objective nature, then there may be a different questions. There may be asked questions regarding what is the year of passing of the act, when the act is implemented, on what day the act was implemented, on what day the president made a sign on that proposal or that bill of that consumer protection bill. Then what are the rights, right to be exploited, against used, against or what for these rights are used. So such questions can be asked in the examinations. So in the next lecture we'll discuss the mechanism of consumer protection councils, which are formulated for the purpose of protection of the consumers, and the courts, forums, etc. We'll discuss it in a in a nutshell. Thank you very much.